audible to everyone? Just type yes in the chat box if you are able to listen my voice. Okay. Today I am going to take Project Lombok seminar. Observe here. Generally, if you are writing Java classes at framework level, we are going to write different types of classes. Okay, something like Java beans, or we can also call it pojos, entity classes, controllers, services, repository classes. Like we have different types of classes we write at framework level. So here in these classes, if you look at few classes like Java beans, pojos, or entities, will be having some common type of coding. What are they? So if you take especially like Java beans, pojos, and entities, actually here we have to write a class that is actually contains some variables. Okay, fine. And then we used to write constructors manually. Constructors, set get methods we are going to generate, or else we do manual coding, and toString method, hash code method, along with equals method. These are the different types of methods we use to write manually, or else we generate code by using IDEs. This time, whatever the work that we do after variables concept, something like constructors, set get methods, toString method, hash code with equals, you need not to write this code. Okay, you need not to write this actually here. These are all generated by Project Lombok. A Project Lombok is an open source Java API. It's a third party. It's not given from Sun Microsystem. So you can go to official website Project Lombok here. Okay, it's a Java library. Okay, so you can add to your projects or your editors actually IDs, and that will reduce your manual work for this code generation here. So how to work with this Project Lombok that I'm going to show here. So in few steps, what is this Project Lombok I'm just giving? Okay, it is open source Java API. Okay, so it is used to reduce, or it generates code for one, constructors, two, set get methods, three, toString method, and four, hash code and equals method. These are the major things. Okay, so we are going to discuss about this actually. Okay, so we can do this Project Lombok usage in two ways. One approach is actually manual approach. One is actually manual approach. You can just download this jar, Project Lombok jar, and you can just do it. Second one, by using IDE. Okay, IDE installation we are going to do here. Okay, mostly this only used in real time, IDE installation. Okay, but first I'll show manual approach. If you write some Java code, what it is actually going to do here. Okay, so if you want to implement these things, for this we have annotations. If you want to generate a constructor, we have annotations. If you want to generate set get methods, we have annotations. For toString method, we have annotations here. Okay, now if you go to Project Lombok here, okay, you can just see here how to download. You can just click on download here, or else you can just use Maven concept. Okay, you can just use Maven concept. If you click on this download, okay, one jar is actually downloaded. Control J, I'm just pressing here. It is asking for us to keep in your system. Just keep it, keep anyway. Okay, show in the folders here. I'm just taking this jar. It's a Lombok test. I have just downloaded the jar by going to this website. In the manual approach, So I went here, projectlombok.org download. You can just download this jar. And next we have to follow some annotations. Okay, so those annotations I'm just giving list here. Okay, observe here one by one. The first one, no args constructor. And next one is actually all args constructor. Next one, getter. Next one, setter, toString, equals, and hash code. And one more combination annotation is there, that's @data. All these annotations are available in a package name, that's actually Lombok. So there is a package name given, there's a Lombok. So you can write lombok.star. Okay, let me show one by one example here. Okay, so no or constructor will generate a default constructor. All our constructor will generate all parameterized constructor. There is one more annotation also there, required our constructor. After this, at the time of data, I'll show that. Okay, it will generate get method, set method. These are all code generation concepts only. Okay, here it generates default or zero param constructor, we can also call here. It will generate zero param constructor. Okay, second one, it generates all params constructor. So getter, it will generate get method for variables. Okay, get methods, it is actually going to generate set method for variables. Okay, it's actually toString method. Okay, it actually, toString method is actually defined in the object class. Okay, it is actually going to override, instead of calling generate, actually we can call, it's actually override toString method in our class. Okay, even equals method and hash code method also, equals method and hash code method also overridden. Okay, so overridden in our class. So here, and there is one more annotation we are going to see at the time of data, that's actually called required arg constructor. Plus non-null annotation we are going to use. Okay, so this is used to generate a specific parameterized constructor, generate selected variables constructor. Okay, you can just choose how many variables do you want to use. And @data is actually combination of required arg, getter, setter, toString, and equals hash code. Instead of applying multiple annotations here, okay, so we can just mention here. So instead of applying multiple annotations, we can write a short one. So that's a required args constructor, and that's getter, setter, so toString method, and equals and hash code. These combination annotations, it's actually @data. Instead of applying multiple here, we can write it. So we can do manual approach by downloading the jar. Okay, we can write it actually here. So in the code, it's actually going to generate all this. Or else you can do IDE installation also. Okay, let me show one small example with manual approach here. Okay, but we do IDE installation only. Okay, I am writing one simple Java class. Okay, I'm just writing a class name that is actually employee. Okay, writing one variable here. Look at string, that's a EMP name, just single variable I'm just writing and saving this file. employee.java. Just I'm saving this file. Okay, so this is source code. Now what I want to say here, hey Lombok, please generate some setGet methods, toString methods. Okay, all I want. Okay, as of now, just I'm applying a single annotation here at the rate getter. Okay, on top of class, I'm just writing. Okay, even at the rate setter. Just these two I'm mentioning here. Look at. So we have to import this. Import Lombok dot star. Just I'm writing temporarily. Okay, I'll show with the STS approach even. Okay, this I have done. Now, if you look at this one, here I wrote one .java file. Okay, then Lombok jar I'm just using. Okay, now I want to say, hey Lombok, okay, take these annotations and generate some code. Get emp name, set emp name. Okay, code should be generated. Okay, so now a source code is written here. Now I'm opening one command location in this. I'm executing a command, actually java c -cp. It will generate intermediate source code file by taking our application, mention your jar name and your class name. Java c -cp jar name space your .java file. Press enter. It's actually going to compile that. At the time of compilation, it will generate that code also. Okay, if you want to see the source code, here it's not possible. It's a dot class file generated. We'll do one thing, we'll do reverse. Okay, that's actually decompile. You can just execute profiler java p employee dot class and press enter. Okay, you can see here this is a emp name. A default constructor has come, that is Java compiler given. Leave that one. Set emp name, get emp name has come. Or else you can do one thing, go to internet and use online Java decompiler. Okay, choose the first option or any particular one, fine. Okay, here click on this file to choose. Go to your location. Okay, upload and decompile. See the decompiled code. I'm just copying this one here. Look at the generated source code. Decompiled actually. See, you need not to write set method. You need not to write get method. Okay, internally source code is generated. Okay, not only single variable, you can write multiple also here. So the manual approach I'm just showing here, you just define one class. Okay, step number one, download jar from this location. Manual approach if you want to practice. Okay, define one Java class with Lombok annotations. Okay, so example Java code here, you can see it's a employee.java. Just I wrote this sample code. Okay, I'll show each and every annotation. I just want to show manually that's actually working here. Okay, so generated code looks like after doing decompilation, I'm just showing here. Directly we can't see. Okay, it's intermediate source code generated and compiled here. So to do decompilation, you can use online help. Okay, multiple sites are there. It's not one. Okay, java decompilers.com. You can just use it. It's a good one. This is a site, you can just use it. A dot class file, if you upload here, you can just use it. Okay, this is a manual approach. No, sir, I don't want this manual approach. You can use IDE installation also. That will be a bit easy actually here. Okay, so now you can see here. Okay, let us go for directly IDE installation. I'm just going to show IDE installation. Okay, so here the point what I want to say, when you use project Lombok with these annotations actually, that's actually going to generate the source code like constructor, set get method, toString and equals hash code. Okay, let us start one by one process with IDE installation approach. Okay, whether if you use Eclipse IDE or STS IDE, how to do this process? First, I'm showing here. Okay, if you are using either Eclipse or STS, okay, I'm just opening STS ID first of all, or Eclipse also same, no problem. You can just follow any ID. Okay, I'm just taking one workspace here. Open Eclipse or STS ID. Second, yeah, if you want to see command based here only after compilation, here you have to compile. Command is actually java c hyphen cp lombok.jar and employee.java. Here only you can just decompile, or that's called profiler. We can call decompiler java p employee.class. Like that you can use, or else you can go through this website, upload the .java file here. Okay, this actually going to give instruction to Lombok. Hey Lombok, please take this and take the annotations and generate the source code. Okay, there's a source code generation actually here. Now, so I'm just showing the STS installation process. There, first of all, you create a simple Maven project. File, new, go to other, create one simple Maven project. Maven project, next option, simple project, next option, give some details, in dot Naresh IT. Okay, I'm just writing it's a Lombok test app version 1.0. Like few details I'm just entering here and just click on finish button. Okay, once you're done with the project actually, so here it is showing Java version 1.5. I'm just upgrading to 1.8. Go to internet, type, okay, Maven Java compiler plugin. So here, copy these properties and paste it. And next one, here you need to mention dependencies, means jar. Dependencies means jar actually here. So go to your Eclipse or STS, create simple Maven project. Okay, update JDK versions and all. Okay, add project Lombok jar. That's actually dependency. So here you can go to internet and type, okay, Lombok Maven dependency. So you can just click on this one. You can go to official website and copy here. I'm just copying this dependencies and paste it. It's a project Lombok dependency. You can just see. Latest version is that one only. When you save this, okay, we have to update the Maven project. Right click, Maven update project. Okay, project is actually updated. There you can just observe Java version is updated and you can see Lombok jar also provided. Okay, once you mention the Lombok jar, you create one class. I'm just writing a same class like employee here. In dot, so Naresh IT dot. Like this, I'm just creating one simple class here. Okay, so here you just define some variables, private, integer, emp ID, string emp name, double emp sal. Like this, I'm just mentioning. So once you're done here, you can expand your class here. Go to package explorer, click on this symbol and you can expand and see just only variables are there. Now I am writing one annotation here, @getter. Okay, control shift to O if you want to get the imports. Press Control button, Shift button, and O. If you want imports, see these methods generated. Source code directly you can't see, but you can confirm the generation. When you write @get method, see these are generated. You can click on expand symbol. Let me remove this and see. Again, those are gone. Let me add again. So @getter. See, these are generated. Let me add one more annotation. @setter. Set methods are generated. If you remove one variable, assumption you remove one variable, it will automatically adjust. If you add again one more variable, it will automatically adjust here. You need not to regenerate or remodify the code. That reduces a lot of work. If you want a default constructor, @no args constructor, one default constructor. Of course, Java compiler gives default constructor if there is no constructor provided. Okay, I'm just writing @all args constructor. You can see three variables are here, three parameters or three variables are here. A constructor generated with three variables. You can just observe. Okay, so here you can just see. See, I have added these annotations. You can add in any order and just press the import statement. But still, if you do in your system, you may not see this output. Okay, so it is actually working here in your system, in your ID, it may not work. So though you add annotations, you may not see that. In that case, what to do? Okay, so add project Lombok jar. Okay, write one simple class. Just look at here with annotations. With annotations actually here. So just I'm writing this one. Lombok jar you have to add in pom.xml like this. This is a dependency. I'm just giving complete pom.xml file here, what I have added. Okay, this file I'll update in my Facebook group after the class completed. You can go to group/the Java temple. Okay, there you can download the notes. Okay, so you just apply this annotation and go to Package Explorer, expand your classes and see. See, it's actually showing in my system. In your system, it may not show. Then what to do? Close your STS. If it's not working, then follow these instructions. Okay, close your IDE. Okay, then go to .em2 location of Lombok jar. Okay, so generally location will be this one: C drive, user, username, .em2 repository, org, project Lombok. Open that particular version and see. In your system also, it will be same location, just username changes. Okay, exactly same location you are also going to see in your system. Okay, once you go to this location, execute a command in this location. See, I'm just clicking inside this address bar and press CMD. Just click inside this and CMD, press enter. Okay, there you need to type the command, or else you can double click here also. Java -jar lombok.jar. You can see like this command. So in the Lombok location only you can execute here, pressing enter. Okay, you will see like this. Project Lombok installer. This actually is a Project Lombok installer. You need not to execute command like this. Even you can do one thing, double click on this jar. But sometimes it may not appear in your system when you double click. Then you can just type command location. You can just type command location here and press enter. Java -jar. It's a lombok.jar. Okay, now you have to wait for some time. Automatically it will detect IDs. Okay, Eclipse ID, STS ID, all IDs it will detect. It is showing clearly Eclipse or Eclipse based ID. Okay, means STS ID also comes under this category. Okay, if you are using some other IDs, how to do, I'll show at last. Okay, so it will take some time. Sometimes it may take half an hour also. Then you do one thing, instead of waiting for this, click on specify location. This only one time setup you have to do. Click on specify location, select where is your ID in your computer. So in my system IDE in D drive, so here I have STS4 or Eclipse also. Okay, select it. It will come like this. Okay, it will show all the IDs actually. Again, I'm saying you can choose Eclipse folder location or STS folder. You can choose manually. Specify the location and click on a button, install or update. Over. Install successfully. Quit. It's a one-time setup. That's it. Only one-time setup we have to do for one ID. Okay. Once you go here, okay, execute command. That's actually Java -jar. It's a Lombok jar, you can see. Or double click on Lombok jar. Anything is fine. Okay. Wait for some time for auto detection of ID. Wait for some time for auto detection of ID or specify location manually. We can specify the location manually. Okay, that is also fine. Anything is okay. Just click on later, click on install or update. Then finally finish. This is one-time setup. Okay, for example, if you download Eclipse IDE, just do it one time. No need to do again and again every day. Okay, once you're done, finally again open your IDE. Continue coding. Okay, so open the IDE. Open the IDE here, same. Just to do one more time, delete the annotations and write it again for effective. Lombok jar must be there in the workspace. It must be their dependency. It should be there. Go to your employee class. Go to your employee class here. Just remove one more time. You may not see proper output. Just remove it. Delete these annotations. Save it. And again paste it. Save it. Then you will see affected output like this. Okay, this is the installation process. Okay, now let me explain one by one annotations now. After this installation, hope you are clear this with installation. What annotation will do what? One by one annotation we are going to see here. Okay, every annotation purpose is only one thing, generating the code. That's a major point you remember, generating the code. Okay, let us start with the beginning. No ars constructor. Look at it. When you write no ars constructor on class, okay, it will generate a default constructor. And remember, you might be knowing core Java point. If you don't write any constructor also, Java compiler provides. But if you write any particular constructor, you recommended to write this. You recommended to write this actually, mostly in the real-time programming. Otherwise, Java compiler will not. Now look at, I'm just writing example number one, concept number one here. There's a no ars constructor. Okay. It will generate default constructor. Yeah, these notes will be uploaded after the class completed in Facebook group. You can just download from there. Okay, so it will generate default constructor. Okay, so when you write some variables here, Okay, let me just give same code only. Why complication? I'm just giving full code. Okay, what is the generated code looks like? Generated code looks like what? I'm just showing here. Okay, if you want to get the imports, please press Control button, Shift button, and O. Okay, now how generated code looks? This is a default constructor generated by Lambda. There will be a statement called superof. Default statement will be added, which will call superclass constructor. Okay, so that is actually work of the no args constructor. Second one, I'm just showing here all args constructor. At the rate all args constructor. All args constructor is actually going to generate all parameters. How many variables you have? 1, 2, and 3. If you have 10, then 10 parameters. If you have 2, 2 parameterized. Like it is going to take all parameters. Internally, one parameterized construct is generated. Now look at the source code here. This is an example. It will generate all params constructor. Okay, all params constructor here. So if you look at the generated source code, how it looks. Internally source code need not to do decompile every time. I'm just going to give for your understanding. This annotation is removed and a class is that's annotation constructor is generated like this. You can just see. Okay, first statement will be superof. Okay, then variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, like this we are mentioning. Okay, so here internally code like this dot emp id is equals to emp id. It looks like this. And second, this dot emp name is equals to emp name. And third one, this dot emp sal is equals to emp sal. Like this generated. Okay, a code is generated like this. And one small question I'm mentioning here. Okay, sir, or a note you can just consider. If we did not mention any variable, just it's like an interview question. I did not write any variable, but still I added all as constructor. Then what it is actually going to do? Okay, in that case, it is actually checking number of variables 0. Then in this case, it is actually generating default constructor. If there are no variables found, if there are no variables found, it is still generating default constructor. Look at this carefully. Okay, so if class has 0 variables, then at the rate all as constructor will generate default constructor. Default constructor. It's something like here. You just using all as constructor. Code is like this. 0 variables. Generated code. Generated code is like this. So you wrote a class that has no variables here, applied all as constructor. That's actually going to generate a default constructor. Now, one more I'm just mentioning here. Just one more I'm just mentioning here. So when it's actually if you have no variables, I am writing two annotations at the rate no args constructor and all args constructor. In this case, it is giving error. Why it is giving error actually here? You can see no args constructor is generating one default constructor. All args constructor also generating one default constructor. Why like that? Okay, so why it is generated like that? It's actually Lombok is just doing code generation based on the instructions given. Programmer, it's actually your mistake. Instead of calling Lombok mistake, your mistake. What you did here, observe carefully. You are just applying this annotations. You are just applying the annotations. Then what Lombok has done, just generated code. Okay, so what Lombok is doing here, it's just taking your class, okay, generating one constructor here. For no hours constructor, one default constructor generated. Temporarily, I'm just removing this. And for second one, it is generated. Sir, it's a mistake, right? Obviously. Then Java compiler saying, hey Lamba, you're brainless. No, 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 I have brain. Programmer is using wrong way. Okay, Java compiler is actually giving error. It's a duplicate method. So it's a purely your mistake, sir. Okay, you did not use it properly. Duplicate method. Constructor also one method. Remember, constructor also one method. That's why you see duplicates. It's a error case. For example, I wrote one variable, private integer empid. Okay, then there is no error. One is actually generating default constructor. Second, if you are using that with variable, one parameter. So remember, Lombok is just doing code generation. The point again I want to say, Lombok is just doing code generation. Okay, that you have to use it properly. Else it is going to give errors. Okay, so that we can check it. What is the error actually here? Okay, so here, this one small example I'm just giving. In this case, example 2, I'm just taking here. In this case, actually, two constructors generated. Are generated. One default, one param. Constructors generated. So using them, utilizing them properly should be done. Else you are going to see error cases. Okay, not only this one, we can apply annotations like @getter. See, when you write @getter, get method is generated. Okay, and @setter. Okay, set method is generated. Okay, we'll do one small example up to this. Okay, one small test case example I'm just writing. Look at carefully. Okay, these are all generated. Taking one another class. It's a test. Okay, there I'm writing one main method. Okay, look at here. So we can create employee. E1 is equals to new employee. So we can just set the data by using parameterized, because there is a parameter constructor available. You can just click on the symbols to view this clearly. Okay, if you are unable to see this, please follow these instructions. Generation. Okay, close your STS IDE. Go to this location. Double click on this jar or execute this command. Choose your IDE location manually. Okay, or wait for some time for auto detection. Install update and reopen your IDE and delete the annotations and again apply. Then it works. So just I'm applying 101 AA. Look at, and even you can create the employee E2 is equals to new employee. I'm just writing. Okay, E2 dot set EMP ID. It's a 101 E2 dot set EMP name. AA. Like this also you can write. So you can use parameterized constructor, default constructor, set methods, and you can print the data using get method also. Now I'm printing. Observe very carefully what we are doing here. It's a even is a reference variable. When you print reference variable, internally it will call toString method. Internally it will call toString method. If you want proof, click on println method, control plus mouse click. Again, click on value of method. See here, internally it's calling object.toString. Finally, it's actually when you call internally, when you call println method, control plus mouse click, and see. or else it is printing something like a double quotes null. So where is the toString method? Okay, where is the toString method? This toString method, okay, again control plus mouse click, is available in object class, java.lang.object class. What this toString is printing? It is taking fully qualified class name, symbol, reading the hash code, converting into hexadecimal format. So when you run the test class, okay, when you run the test class, actually you are just seeing some output. Okay, if you ask anyone what is this, actually this is actually hash code. It's actually fully qualified class name, symbol, hash code in hexadecimal format. That's what actually done by toString method, which is in object class, which is in object class. Object class toString method, you can see. No, sir, I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay, then you can do one thing. You can go to employee class, write manually toString method. Public string toString, just I'm writing here, return, what is your class name? Employee. Okay, what are your variables? Emp id is equals to, comma, emp name is equals to, what is this emp id? Let me print here. Like this I'm writing. Let me print here. Emp name. Like this I wrote. Now again run this test class now. Look at here, it has come. Okay, generally it's not a good approach. Manual writing is not a good approach. Okay, you can just generate by adding one annotation @toString, @toString. When you apply this, go to test class and run this application and see the output. Again, you do one thing, remove this toString method, go to test class and run this application and see the output. Okay, so if Lombok is not working, already I gave steps here. Please follow the steps. ID installation process I gave. Okay, now let me continue here. So toString method added. Now the second one, I want to compile these two objects. I want to compare these two objects, E1 and E2. E1 and E2 data I want to compare here. So here I'm just writing E1 dot equals E2. Okay, if you look at equals method inside logic, control plus mouse click, see equals internally using double equal to operator. Means it is actually going to check, are they pointing to same object or not? Two references, if they are pointing to same object, then it's actually valid. Okay, it's something like a E1 and E2, if they are pointing to two, valid. But here E1 is actually pointing to one object, E2 is actually pointing to another object. Assumption is something like E1 and it's actually E2. Now here, when you run this application, it's actually giving the false. Hey, don't compare references. That's okay. I want to compare the data. ID, name, I want to compare. Then if you want to compare the data, okay, not only references, then you have to override a method that's actually equals and hash code. Okay, equals and hash code. Go to test class. Now it is actually going to compare the data along with the references. Okay, now run this application and see it's a true. Let us do one small change. I'm just adding B. Now data is different actually, and run this application, it's a false. Okay, let me change it again. It's a 102. Run this application, false. Change 102. Run this application, it's a true. So if you want to compare two different objects actually, okay, you must override equals and hash code method. Okay, this is actually core Java concept. Here I'm just showing Lombok annotations. Observe. You can apply default constructor, all param constructor, set get methods, hash code and equals method. Equals internal checking, can we compare these two objects or not, can equals method, and toString method. Like this we have. Okay, so this is one example. You just write it and just practice the same. A full example I'm just giving here. So one class and second test class. Yeah, comparing two objects means data inside the objects, or are they pointing to same reference or not. Now next I'm showing one annotation here. If you want a parameterized constructor, selected variables, you have to write required args constructor. Required args constructor is used for selecting your own variables for params. I'm writing like this. Look at. Now I want only EMP name in my constructor. Then I'm writing, okay, first write on top of class required args constructor, and then select this variable. How to select this? Then on top of this, you have to write one annotation, non-null. Non-null. Okay, two are from Lombok. When you write like this, it's actually going to generate internally. Okay, so a constructor is generated. Employee constructor is generated by using string emp name. Like this. This constructor is generated. Okay, because you have chosen only this. Okay, if you don't write this, again same, it also behaves like a default constructor. At the rate non-null is must. Okay, let me just add non-null on this one also. Now let us see how this code looks like. Okay, at the rate required arg constructor, it is used to generate selected variables as parameterized constructor. As a parameterized constructor. Okay, if you look at the example here, okay, how to select? Okay, the question is how to select. Select a variable using at the rate non-null. Now look at the generated code. If you look at the generated code here, so here that looks like employee. Default statement will be super off. Okay, this is just for understanding I'm writing. If you don't write, it's okay. Integer emp id, emp name, emp sal. Okay, now sorry, it's only two selected, right? It's a typo mistake. Only these two, emp name and emp sal. Non-null, non-null. So here it's internally this dot emp name is equals to emp name. This dot emp sal is equals to emp sal. Okay, like this is generated code. Again, I'm saying if you don't select it, variables are there. Still, if you don't select it, okay, in this case, okay, required arg constructor is asking, hey, choose one variable. No, I won't choose anything. Then it will generate default constructor. Oh, it is also generate default constructor. Yes. Not only Noah's constructor, even all ours and required args, there is a possibility when if you don't choose any variable. Okay, so here you apply required arg constructor without any variable having non-null, generates default constructor. Remember, variables are there, but at the rate non-null is not there. Like this is a code. You can see generated code. You can see generated code. That's actually generating default constructor. So I'm just giving one more case study. Please look at very carefully. Okay, whether variable is there or not, it's secondary thing. At the rate non-null is there or not. At the rate non-null must. Okay, there is a case study I'm just giving. At the rate all ars constructor, at the rate required r constructor, okay, at the rate no ars constructor. You can write in any order. Look at carefully. I'm just removing all the variables. 3 default constructor generated. Hey, what is this? Okay, again I'm saying it's your mistake. It's not Lombok mistake. If you don't use these annotations properly, okay, source code is actually going to work. It's never called bug. Okay, it's a programmer mistake. Okay, it's a all as constructor, no variables, so zero param. Required r constructor, no non-null variables, zero param. Okay, again no rs, again zero param. So 3 default constructors generated. Really, yes, generated, but Java compiler is saying, hey, that's actually wrong thing. No, that's not a correct one here. Okay, you wrote like this actually here. Check this case. You are writing like this, and Lombok generated code looks like this. Yes, it's a purely programmer mistake. If you don't use them properly, you can never call it's actually Java, this API mistake. Okay. So it's a type mistake, copy paste mistake. It's a default constructor. Yes, it's a default constructor. Correct. It's a copy paste mistake actually happened. Now it looks like this. Now instead of applying multiple annotations manually, like required r constructor and all here, you can apply a single annotation, that is data. Let me show here. That's a at the rate data. Okay. When you apply at the rate data, please concentrate. Default constructor has come. Set get methods has come. Equals method has come. Hash code. ToString method. You can see everything. A single annotation. Okay. So if you just control plus mouse click, you can see what are actually internal generating. Control plus just mouse click to see what are they actually. So at the rate data is a combination of this. Already I gave above in the notes. You can just see a short annotation actually. Required r constructor, getter, setter, ToString, equals and hash code. A single annotation. Like this you can follow. So this all-in-one annotation here. Example. Set get. Okay, it's a required args constructor. You can apply at the rate non-null or as default is given. And next one, ToString. And next one, equals and hash code. Equals and hash code is used for comparing the data. Now, this is for Eclipse and STS. Sir, if I using some other IDs, then what to do? Go to this website. You can find some instructions there. Projectlombok.org. Okay. So here you can just click on install button. Okay. So if you are using, some people will be using IntelliJ IDEA. Okay. That is also one of the most famous IDE. Okay. If you just go there, they are giving some instructions you can follow. Go to file, settings, plugin. Okay. Browse repositories, Lombok plugin, install and restart. Okay. If you're actually following here. Okay. That's actually with IntelliJ IDEA. Okay. Just follow these steps in your system. Okay. If you're using NetBeans, okay. So here NetBeans process, they are showing with the screenshots. You can just right click on the project, properties, you can just go there, compile option. Okay, so that is a compile and save is actually showing here. Just apply these options, just save it. Okay, add lombok.jar. Okay, build hyphen compiling here, enable annotation processing in the editor. This option you can see, just lombok jar, just choose it. If you're using different one, for example you're choosing eclipse, see same process what I gave, they're showing here. You can do one more thing, plugin also you can add. Okay, you can just go to see like plugin also, you can go to help, install softwares, or eclipse marketplace also you can go, window, sorry, help, install new software. Okay, instead of doing that manual process, you can search with lombok. Sorry, you can just search with lombok here. Wait for a second. So here you can choose lombok and just next and finish. Okay, in that case you need not to go to .m2 location and all. Okay, you see initially I have shown installation process, C drive, user, username, .m2, no need to go here. If you just do this process, okay, go to help, install new software, enter this location here and press enter. This address you need to mention, projectlombok.org/p2. Okay, just click on this one and next button and finish button you can just do. I accept terms and agreements and finish. Just restart your STS, sufficient. And make sure that you have added dependency. Okay, in your pom.xml or Gradle also, if you follow, dependency should be there. Then only code will be generated. Okay, this is giving overview again. Finally, Project Lombok is used to generate source code for constructors, setGet method, toString method, equals and hash code. Still, if you want any other constructor, no other way, you have to write it manually. For example, I have my own requirement, you write it manually. Okay, so any other methods required, you have to write it manually. It is giving support for few. Okay, and still there are some other requirements. For example, superclass has some parameters constructor. I said, right, you have to write it manually. Okay, and it's actually having some other options too, something like build and all. Okay, stable versions having some annotations. You can just see here. You can apply builder pattern. Okay, you can just apply some builder pattern here, @builder. Okay, you can write your code in the builder process. If you know already builder pattern, something like class dot, okay, member dot at last build. In that process, if you want to do, okay, in that process if you want to do, you can just apply builder pattern, @builder. I'm just writing, look at here. So employee builder inner class is created here. Okay, if you know already builder pattern, then only you can follow this. Okay, so in the test class I'm just building the employee object. Okay, employee dot, okay, builder dot, just I'm writing first variable emp name, emp id 10 dot, emp name dot emp salary, it's a dot. Okay, build method. Okay, it's called builder pattern. You might have seen such kind of structure, dot method, dot method, dot method, dot method, dot method, finally returns the same object. Okay, a short way of creating the object. If you have lengthy complex logics, builder pattern is also used. Okay, so if you don't know builder pattern, I'll give a reference link in my Facebook group, just go through that. Okay, so here this actually builder process used to call multiple methods in a single line to create a final object with different inputs. That's a design pattern. Builder is a design pattern. I'm not explaining what is that here. I'm just showing how to implement. Just you can apply and run this actually E1. Okay, print this. Of course, you can override toString method. Run this application here. See, that's actually builder annotation. Like you have other annotations, you can just go through this. Multiple annotations are there. If you want to specify some mutability level actually here, okay, you can just mention here how to write it. Okay, so I want to say within this package only I want to access. Okay, within this actually I want to mention here. So you can write even levels. There I'm writing. So with this actually here, access level, I'm just mentioning here. Only this actually package level I want to access. You can just see that method generated with a default. I want private set method. Okay, just you can mention here, it's a private. Okay, private set get methods are generated. Of course, in that case, no meaning, but you can mention that. Okay, if you want to mention some priority levels actually, okay, for the generated code. Okay, so here you can, by default, it will be public here. So in Java 9 concept, there is a concept added module that is also it supports module level access. Okay, these are the different access levels we have: public, module, protected, package, private, like none. You can mention the access levels. So these are the different annotations you can just even follow from this official document here. And generally, if you open something like file input stream, okay, file output stream, we have to write something like a close methods at last. FIS dot close, okay, FOS dot close methods we used to write. Okay, instead of writing separately close methods, we can use try with resource. That's the one technique. Or else you can apply one annotation called cleanup. Okay, when you write cleanup, you can see the generated code like this. Finally, it will close. Okay, close methods automatically generated. So here, when you write like this, by taking some input here, okay, then at last in the finally block, okay, here something like in dot close code is generated. This actually added like this. This is called cleanup annotations. Okay, for more annotations, you can just go through here. This is a document reference link I'm just giving. Okay, but mostly these are not used in real time. Okay, so in the place of this one, try with resource, in the place of builder pattern, manual building design is applied, but there is a possibility, just I'm showing that. Okay, you can even use this. Mostly used annotation is data only, data, or as something like a toString explicitly equals and hash code, you can use it. Okay, this is overview of Lombok. It's only generates the code. Okay, it's actually third party, not from Sun Microsystem or Oracle. You can use it with Hibernate framework, web services, Spring application, Spring Boot application. Very simple. Are you creating the project using Maven or okay Gradle? Yes, you can add explicitly dependency. With a normal core Java also you can work. Normal advanced Java you can work. Only you need to add Lombok jar and apply the annotations. But where exactly mostly used is frameworks levels. Okay, Lombok, yes, you can use in production, but production level it's not going to be. It will generate the source code and it will give it to compile. Okay, once file is compiled and it's actually built, then Lombok is not required. This jar is not required. Okay, so that is not going to affect the production. That's not going to make any problem. And it's one of the mostly used concepts in Spring Boot. If you go to Spring Boot framework, it's mostly used. Companies also using that. Okay, so this is an overview of project Lombok here. This notes I'll post it there. Okay, thank you for session. Okay, so this next concept we are going to see with annotations part 2. That's actually session 1 taken and available in my Facebook group. You can just go through that. So next one we are going to plan for that. Thank you.